We move now to what's been the talk in Washington these past few days, the nomination of Sonia Sotomayor to be the next Justice of the Supreme Court. Here to help us put the week in focus is CBS News political analyst John Dickerson. John, the biggest controversy has been about Sotomayor's comment 8 years ago that, quote, she would hope that a wise Latina woman with the richness of her experiences would more often than not reach a better conclusion than a white male who hasn't lived that life. Why has this become such a problem for the White House? And I guess it's a very complicated issue.
The key line of attack against her is that she's not going to base her judgments based on the Constitution or the statute, but something else, her feelings or her ethnicity. And this quote goes right to that. People were claiming that not only will she have her gender and her ethnicity influencing her decisions, but she thinks that makes her decisions better than those of a white male. The White House at first said, look at it in context, read the whole speech. She's talking about just in sex and gender discrimination cases and ethnic cases. But then they decided basically you can't make an argument in a political setting where you have to talk about context all the time. So they said she misspoke, and they're hoping the argument will then move on.
Is the way the White House is trying to fix this going to work?
Well, it's unclear for the moment. The best political help they got actually came from the Republicans, who declared a bit of a truce. Newt Gingrich pointed to these 32 words, and Rush Limbaugh did also, and said it proved that Sotomayor was a racist. Now, Republican Chairman Michael Steele came out and said it rebuked them for that, as did John Cornyn, who sits on the Judiciary Committee, a Republican, and some conservative columnists. So the Republicans are pulling back. The problem for the White House, though, is that it's still unclear what Sotomayor really believes in her heart, and that will, of course, be the subject of intense discussion during her Senate confirmation hearings.
Very good point. We'll be watching. John Dickerson joining us from Washington. John, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.